Tiger fans, what's going on, guys? So I know you guys expect me to come on here and be angry, be frustrated, and be kind of like how I was in my previous week's video, but I don't care. You know, my attitude right now it should be reflective of how what your attitude should be right now. I know everyone's pissed about today's loss. Coming in today's game, 8 straight losses. They're facing Zach Allen. Zach Allen's been kind of mediocre on the road this year. He's given up over 5 runs multiple times. And the Tigers finally get to a pitcher. McKinstry balls out today, home run. Tigers Torque has a double. Tigers offense actually does something. Scored 5 runs. And only for it to be lost with 2 outs in the ninth. Jason Foley couldn't get that last out. Kerry Carpenter misplays the ball out there and left, allows the Diamondbacks to take the lead, walks, hits with 2 strikes. What do you expect right now? Literally, with how bad this team is playing and the kind of streak they've been on, and then facing this caliber team, the Diamondbacks are a very, very good team. You can see why they are a first-place team out in the NL West. That team scores runs in a fucking instant. It is instantaneous. Like today, Pavin Smith, who's having a kind of a subpar year, hits a 2-run home run out of nowhere for Joey Wentz. And Joey Wentz looked okay today for Joey Wentz, cruise a little bit. But like I said, I'm not going to come on here and scream, yell, and whine. I just don't care. And you guys should reverberate the same kind of attitude that I have because, there's no point in getting mad at a franchise that doesn't care, that's not trying. This week, they get swept by the Diamondbacks, and you had a game where Michael Lorenzen's pitching his ass off. They can't get him any kind of runs again. And all of a sudden, the game goes from 3-3 to where they get blown out, where the Diamondbacks put up 7 runs in 1 inning. And then they get shut out again. There's just really nothing to say. They have lost in this streak. They're 0 for June, which that's fantastic. And during this streak, they've now been shut out 4 times. They've been walked off, I think, 3 times now. So that's 3 or 4 times they've been walked off. So that's pretty sick. And they've done nothing. Kerry Carpenter comes up, and you didn't expect Kerry Carpenter to do what he's done. He's already had a double, a few hits. He's really been on fire, and he's been a spark that the Tigers' offense desperately needed, especially from the left side. But so far, it's all for naught because now their biggest strength, which was the back end of their bullpen, is now starting to fall apart. Alex Lang pitched an inning and 2/3 today, and A.J. Hinch was trying to keep him out of the ninth, understandably, because the last 2 times he's come out was a walk-off both times. One was that Jake Berger grand slam, and the other was the other night, where he gave up 2 runs in the ninth. And understandably so, A.J. Hinch is trying to build his confidence back up, put him in a little bit of a lower leverage situation. The Tigers were leading by a couple of runs, and he ended up, getting hit kind of hard with 2 outs in the 8th, and he brings out, I think it was Chasen Shreve to get out of the inning, or Tyler Holton to get out of the inning, right? And then he trusts Jason Foley, who has been equally as good as Alex Lane, to get the job done, and it just didn't work out in the 9th inning. So now their one strength is now shown a chink in the armor, and it's now become a question mark. And for this fan base to turn on Lang and Foley as fast as they have is absolutely a complete joke. You have 2 guys that have been as money can be. You are literally looking at 2 of the best relievers in the entirety of the MLB. Up to this point, I know Lang right now, the baseball's a what have you done for me lately kind of sport. But if you look coming into these last couple starts where they've been shaky and both have given up games, you'd be damn hard-pressed to find 2 relievers in the back of any bullpen that have been as good as Alex Lang and Jason Foley have been, bar none, end of story. And for these people to be like, oh, we should have never traded Gregory Soto. First off, go fuck yourself. So many people hated Gregory Soto. I was like one of the few people there was in this entire fan base that ever had said anything positive about Gregory Soto because of how many walks he had and how every single time out he made it interesting. He was basically Todd Jones Jr. So first off, you can just can the bullshit on this, trying to say that the Tigers lost the trade for Gregory Soto because he had a good month with Philly. Secondly, Lang has been as good as they come. So don't even start dogging a guy that has been almost as automatic has been. So that's just a bunch of bullshit. And that really pissed me off that there's so many people in this fan base, and you're reading online, people dogging two of the best, most dominant relievers in all the MLB. What do you expect? The Tigers haven't been scoring any runs. What do you expect? These guys are getting used almost every single night. For fuck's sake. Lang had a stretch of time where he was used 3 days in a row. Back when they were actually still playing good and knew how to win a game. He was used 3 days consecutive and went out there all 3 days and got locked down every single time out. How about a week ago when they had beat the White Sox to pull within one game of 500? Came out, runner on second base situation, struck out the side. I mean, come on. Don't sit here and start talking shit about two guys who've been the best in the league, one of the best relievers in the league. That brings my piss to a boil because those guys have been as good can be. But it's still the same problem. I mean, the other night, Jake Rogers hits 2 home runs when it doesn't matter. They're already getting their ass rocked. Javier Baez finally hits another home run in garbage time, but it doesn't matter. They're already getting their ass rocked. It's garbage time hits when it doesn't matter. And, today was a legit chance of winning a ball game, and they blow it with 2 outs, 1 strike away multiple times. So I don't care. And you guys shouldn't care either. When you have a franchise that thinks that Nick Solak, claiming him off of waivers and bringing him up is, an ample move to try to help a team score more runs, and Nick Solak sucks. Jake Marisnick is not known for his offense, even though he had a couple hits today, but overall is what you'd expect with the bat. Great with the glove. Won't talk bad about his defense. But he's been overall what you expect Jake Marisnick to be. Torkelson, it looks like he's starting to find his swing again. He went through a little bit of a longer stretch than he's done, but we've yet to see, the home runs at all this month out of him. We've seen the doubles again, and that's a great sign. But, still same story with him. Too passive on pitches down the middle of the plate and starting to chase. Javier Baez is lost. Eric Haas is lost. Jonathan Scope is lost. For some weird reason, Miguel Cabrera has really started to pick it up over the last couple of games. Guys had a couple of doubles over this past series and a few hits. But you shouldn't care if this franchise doesn't. The fact that Parker Meadows is still down in AAA, the fact that Justin Henry Malloy, one of those 2 guys, wasn't brought up to at least given an opportunity. And I'm so tired of this argument that people go, well, they're not ready yet. You can't bring them up and expect them to save the team and for them to hit better. Listen, no one's talking about them saving the team and saving the season. For fuck's sake, they've lost 9 straight games and they're at 4th place. They're terrible. At this point, it doesn't matter. For people to say that you can't bring them up because they're going to struggle, they're not ready yet. First off, you don't know if they're ready yet. Kerry Carpenter was down in AAA, and he was horrible over the 10 games he was down there. He's come up, and he's been white hot. Secondly, the people that they're replacing or potentially replacing are dog shit. They're horrible. So what does it matter if they struggle? If you're replacing a guy like Andy Ibanez, who's hitting 179, or Jonathan Scope, who's hitting 194, and you get a guy that comes up here and hits 220 and maybe hits 5 home runs with a couple of doubles, guess what? That's an improvement over what you had. Hate to break it to you. Oh, well, Justin Henry Malloy can't play defense. Great. Kerry Carpenter's not exactly fucking Jason Hayward out there in left field. He's not Roberto Clemente out there. Hate to break it to you. Can he hit? Can he get on base a little bit more than someone else? That's all I care about. Oh, well, Parker Meadows is starting to struggle. Guess who else has struggled? The entirety of the fucking Detroit Tigers offense. I don't care what it is. Who's done what, who struggled what their numbers currently are. Because you know something? The people that are up in the big leagues right now, they suck. They're not doing anything. They've had ample at-bats. They've had ample sample size. We've seen this story. We know what this team is. They've been shut out 4 times in the last 9 games. Enough is a fucking enough. They're injured as shit. Getting Jake Marisnik, getting Nick Solak doesn't help any. I don't care if Justin Henry Malloy comes up here and hits like shit. I don't care if Parker Meadows comes up here and hits like shit. Because you know something? It's a coin flip. He might come up here and be good. And guess what? If they struggle, you send them back down. Because Riley should be back by the end of this month, start of the next month. So you're only giving him an opportunity anyways for an audition. If you bring him up, give him 3 weeks worth of at-bats, and they stink, you put him right back down there because you get Riley Green back. Simple as that. It's literally a no-risk thing. You're not playing for anything. Your team is horrible. You have a plethora of hitters you can send out, and your lineup won't miss them whatsoever. You have at-bats that can be given. Fucking try something else. You've lost 9 straight games. It's a joke. And this is what I'm saying. You guys should not care because I don't care. I don't give 2 shits when this is the answer that they're going to give us. Here's Jake Marisnik. Here's Nick Solak. Every 5th day, you wonder if Wentz can even make it out of the first inning without giving up 12 runs. They can't send anybody down for him because AAA's rotation's a dumpster fire. They get 5 hits as an offense, and that's considered a good offensive day for them. And now their bullpen's cracking because it's been used so much. I don't know, guys. I'm not making a 20-minute video this week. I don't care. I legitimately don't care. This is pathetic. When you were this close to being in first place and you were this close, you were 1 game under 500 in the shittiest division in baseball. This was the year, a chance for you to get back and be a competitive team in a weak division. This was a year for you to take a step forward. I understand Riley Green and Erod hurts it, but this 9-game losing streak is not solely on the loss of those 2 players. Because you know something, when you've been walked off this many times and now you've had leads in multiple 9th innings that you've lost in this 9 games, that's just on the team not playing complete baseball. Whether it's sloppy defense like Kerry Carpenter bobbling the ball today out there and left, whether it's now your bullpen starting to crack with Lang and Foley because they've been used so much, so you're losing games that you normally were winning up until this point. Not having them is definitely hurting your offense and definitely hurting the pitching staff. But at the same time, some of these games they've lost over this streak were winnable games. And the opportunities that they've wasted, now they're not hardly drawing nearly the walks they were drawing. They're hardly getting on base at all. Just strikeout city. The plate approaches have been fucking horrible. They went from in May where they were like the fucking 0-2 Oakland A's to now they're a bunch of dudes up at the plate just swinging at everything and anything because this offense is so aggressive trying to get hits because they've been so stagnant. Like I said, I don't care. You guys shouldn't care. You guys shouldn't care either. If this is what the franchise answer is, this is what Scott Harris's answer is to try to help the offense at least do something, to try to help keep this team float at least somewhat above water until Riley Green gets back. Because now it doesn't matter. The Tigers are basically the Titanic, is what this is. I mean, they were 1 game under 500 and a game out of first. And now they've lost 9 straight games and they're in 4th place with the Braves coming in, and they're going to get shit wrecked by the Braves. Like, it's going to be a no contest. I fully expect this Tigers team to go 0-6 during this homestand because they couldn't close out the Diamondbacks. And go ask Mets fans about having a 3-run lead to the Braves. It evaporates real quick. That team is real good. So I don't care. If they're going to continue to run the same shit out there and they're going to keep being okay with this being the result and they're not going to at least give someone a potential opportunity for at least a couple of weeks to see what happens, see what sticks, then I don't care anymore. I'm watching just to watch because this is what I do. I like coming on here and talking to you guys and my comments and my commenters who consistently comment. And for some reason, the few people that do value my opinion. But that's the only reason I'm watching because I don't care. It's been 2016 since they had a winning record. And this is trash what we're watching again. And it honestly hurts because this time last year I didn't care, but the team was already so bad after they were like 9-23. It was fucking irrelevant. at one point in time when you're 1 game under 500 and you're winning at almost an 8 game higher clip than you were the prior season, and then you were 1 game out of first place and going into June, which is the third, your third month of the season, this hurts a little bit more because that's such a false hope. And you've seen what the team was doing in May and some of the hitting performance they were getting, and now this. And like I said, Nick Solak, Jake Marisnik, that's your answers for this. You're not willing to give anyone else opportunities. Even if they struggle, I don't care. You're willing to just keep running Scope out there and Andy Ibanez. Fuck that. You guys shouldn't care. I don't give a fuck either. So I'll be back next week, guys. Go Tigers.